are thinking about management from the business sector, about coordination of organizations, large people without strict authoritarian control, how might that apply in government? But really, I guess another way to say this is now, what do we actually mean by government? Because I think one of the things that strikes me as very interesting is that we can think about this as an organizational question. I mean, if I talk about collective intelligence, I can actually think of 20, 30, 40, 50, 150 people who are my organization. How do we become more collectively intelligent? But the meaning of government, I think, is much bigger than that. I think it's not just about the management of governmental organizations. It's about the processes whereby society governs itself. Governing, literally, and word, means steering. That's probably as good a synonym as exists for the word to govern, to steer. How does a society steer itself? How does it govern itself? How does it set its directions? How does it stay on a direction? How does it learn to move in a direction? These are the governing processes. So it seems to me what makes this question so interesting about what does this mean for government is that we can think about our organization, or we can think of 3 government agencies and why they don't collaborate. Clearly a theme I hear again and again, not just today, but since Diane Ing and I first started talking 4 days ago, is the fractious, competitive, non-collaborative nature of different governmental agencies, the losses. We were talking during the break of maybe some larger sense of commonality, common vision that may have characterized much Taiwan government in the past but has been lost. But then there's a larger question of what do we mean by governance? Now, if I can just add one more thought on that, I started thinking about this in response to your question, because you were starting to describe a governing process. You were starting to describe that, well, isn't this in some sense what democracy is all about? The representatives listen to their people, and the representatives then go and represent their people's views. We go out and listen to our constituencies, and we go back and represent their views and try to make sure their interests are well represented in the decision-making process. I think what's missing in that is the following. Because it seems to me where our societies really drift is precisely because when we lose sight, we only think we're just representing and trying to win our point versus improve the quality of thinking that led to our point. It seems to me that when real leadership is operating in any setting, it's not just helping people get what they want. It's helping people understand why they want what they want. How do you continually improve the quality of thinking of a society so that we can more effectively govern ourselves? Not how do we solve the current set of problems that our constituencies say we have to solve. Because one of the insights that I think is one of the transcendent insights from 40 or 50 years of understanding complex human systems, most of the problems people want to solve are not the real problems. They're symptoms of problems. And the more we get trapped into solving the problems that the people in the system say we have to solve this problem, the more we get into a reinforcing cycle of low leverage changes, satisfying self-interest, losing our sense of the larger whole.